Hello everyone, my name is Geeta. I am studying BTech third year in the stream of Electronics and Communication Engineering in VVIT. Today I am here to present a satellite communication subtopic. The topic was is classification based on orbit of Earth. Today we see the orbits of Earth and the types of orbits and etc. First, introduction to orbits. The definition of orbit is an orbit is a curved path a satellite follows around Earth due to a gravity. The orbit is a curved path. In in satellite is placed in a orbit. So this is the orbit and importance is determine satellite speed, coverage and applications. Visual how to see the orbits. It is a simple diagram showing the Earth and a satellite path. This is the introduction to orbits, and the next we have to see the types of orbits as well. Layers diagram showing Leo, Meo, and Geo around Earth. The next was we have to see the Leo, Meo, Geo diagrams. First, we have to see the types of orbits: low Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, high Earth orbit, and geostationary orbit. The altitude range of LEO orbit is 160 to 2000 kilometers, and the period of time in one period and a whole circle, the Earth whole circle returns a within a 90 minutes it rotates, and the Leo Earth orbit want to need more more number of satellites because of its time period is less and its coverage of the area is less, so it needs more satellites, and the applications is earth observation, ISS, remote sensing. The medium earth orbit altitude range 2000 to 35,000 kilometers and 2 to 24 hours is period, and navigation its applications GPS, Galileo, and high earth orbit greater than 35,500 and it is greater than 24 hours specialized mission, and geostationary satellite 35,786 kilometers. It was long in the range and 24 hours to time period. The applications of this is weather, communication, and satellite. And we have to see the diagrammatic in Leo, Meo, Heo, Geo. Have to see. And in this diagram shows a Leo, Meo, Geo. Geostationary satellite 250 to 280 milliseconds. Medium MEO is milliseconds. These are the seconds. So this is Earth and these are the orbits and the distance we have to see this, and this is the satellite. First we have to see in the first orbit is Leo and the second orbit is Meo and third orbit is Geo. These are the distance and time periods. We have to see the below table, and functional classification we have to see polar orbits passes over poles covers entire Earth. It is a polar orbit. It means it, the orbit the satellite passes a poles and it covers the entire Earth. That is the polar orbit. Sun synchronous orbit SSO crosses equator at some local solar time, usually useful for imaging. This means in equator we have to see the equator line. In that equator line we have to see the orbit, and in Earth imaging is clearly visible in SSO. Highly elliptical orbit HEO elongated path good for high latitude coverage. In the latitude means vertical. Its coverage of the Earth is very good in HEO orbit. And geostationary orbit. It is a geostationary orbit is a fixed position related to the Earth. If Earth rotates in some part, geostationary orbit satellite also rotates same that of the path. and visual. Multiple orbit paths are drawn around the Earth poles, elliptical and equatorial. Orbit is the shape in elliptical. The applications of LEO, MEO, GEO, SSO have to see. LEO means Earth observation, weather monitoring, gravity missions, and MEO, GPS, navigation systems, GEO, TV broadcasting, internet, weather forecasting, SSO, climate studies, environmental monitoring. We have to see this diagram. Leo, Meo, Geo. I have to see above. These are the satellites rotating. Geostationary satellite means when Earth rotates, which part that rotates also same that part. Fixed position in Geo. And the next future trends. It's a very low Earth orbit emerging for mega constellation. Example Starlink. Very low Earth orbit. Mega constellation, thousands of satellites for global internet. We have seen so many satellites in the earth. It also connection between one satellite to another satellite is very important, and the challenges space debris, orbital conjunction, visual, artistic duplication of multiple satellites forming a constellation. This is future trends we have to choose. The next one is finally we have to conclude this. Orbits are classified by altitude and functionality. Each orbit serves unique applications. Understanding orbits is crucial for space technology and earth science as well. Infographic and summarizing earth orbits. Orbital plan. Generally, we know the in solar system in earth around say number of satellites. If any satellite is damaged, it and from earth station to satellite, we have the communication. We when you give the commands to the satellite, it works as a line to line and take these commands and it works like that. If it is fail, we can't do. And when we give commands that is working or not, these are major things in orbits. In only satellites are revolving in the certain orbits. This we have to consider from this topic. And finally, we see this more about for this. These are the slides. Slowly, we what we discussed we have to see. This main introduction, and we have to see in the orbit definition, and this is the classification and types of orbits: LEO, MEO, GEO. And in LEO need more satellites. LEO means low latency also compared to MEO and GEO, and MEO needs high. It's a high latency, and GEO also high latency. Mostly we see the LEO, MEO, and GEO, and these are the three satellite orbits we have to see. And these are applications also important, and time durations in each one needs a different time periods. And we see this diagrammatic LEO, MEO, GEO, and time periods and static how much time it will take, and polar orbits functionalities and hierarchical. And these are the satellites rotating and how it places. And the next future, what we seen in our future also. In future, maybe satellites are like rockets in going and return path also it will possible in our future. Yes, research also started for that. And the conclusion we have to see in types of orbits and rotating altitudes, each functions, applications. These are the orbits, and the mainly this topic is why satellite places in a LEO, MEO, GEO orbits only. We have to question that from this topic. Mainly, we see orbit satellites why placing in that orbit only. Like that, questions are rises. But the reason is where the satellites is placed. That is the orbit. Simply, we place that and overallly mainly and this topic main theme is how many orbits and working of orbits, how it places, the satellites placing, and when satellites are not working, when the Earth stationary orbit gives the commands to the our Earth satellites. It works like the Earth station satellite commands like that. The peoples give the commands and satellite works so that our signals, our coverages in winter and rainy season mostly signals are very problem because of our thunders and the signal towers are disturbed because of it not working in rainy time, so that in earth station to satellites are also commands and communication is also very less, so it's more time it takes. This is the topic of classification based on orbit of Earth. Thank you. Slowly, I want to see my slides and thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all.